Working for Burton Shaw is a challenge for all staff, regardless of what their job role is, and it doesn't matter which part of the business they work in, it's a challenge. But it's particularly challenging for those that work at what we would call frontline. So for our support workers, our learning support assistants, our teachers, anybody who's dealing directly with the children and young adults that we support, it's a very demanding job. It's an emotionally challenging job. Sometimes it can be physically challenging. I'm absolutely delighted as the Chief Executive of Burton Shaw that I can say in all honesty that we have one of the greatest workforces that I think exists anywhere in the country in our sector. And I think that's borne out by the number of awards that the company wins, but also that individuals win. Just to give you an example of recent ones, in October of this year, the organisation was named as the best special education needs provider in the world in 2022 by the Global Healthcare Association, and that operates across 42 of the world's developed countries. To get that kind of an accolade for what we do as an organisation reflects on every single member of staff. If it wasn't for everything they do, we wouldn't get those kind of awards. So when you're thinking about those kind of awards, you kind of think, how do we get those? How do we end up doing this service that's so different? How are our services so different from others? And I think it comes back to something that I say to staff when they join the organisation, and I remind them of regularly, that everything they do and everything they say should have a positive impact on that child or young adult in that moment, but also for the rest of their life. And if they can't honestly say with hand on heart that what they're about to say or what they're about to do will make a positive difference in that minute and in the future, don't do it. And that's kind of how I explain the standard. And it's a high standard to work to, because quite often people can go on autopilot or not really necessarily be thinking very carefully about everything they do or everything they say. But that's what I'm saying, they need to, because if they say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, it could have really significant consequences for a child or a vulnerable adult there and then in that moment, but potentially for a long time to come. So that's the kind of guiding principle that I expect all staff to work to. And the fact that they win so many awards proves that they stick to that principle. And not only did we win the Best Special Needs Provider of the Year award fairly recently, but throughout this year, the school has won an award for the social and I can't remember, social, mental, I don't know, about people's well-being. I can't remember the exact title of it. But we had a number of people who became finalists in the Great British Care Awards and the Learning Disability and Autism Awards, and many of those people never expected to do as well as they've done in their careers, and that's partly because we have career progression opportunities and career progression pathways, and we support people. We always try to promote from within before we advertise externally. We'll never advertise externally first. We'll always see if we can fill senior roles and promote people internally before we would ever consider going outside. So lots of people end up getting promotions and into positions that they never expected to get in, and then when they get recognition for it in some kind of national award scheme, it's almost like they're kind of shocked. Sometimes they're a little bit bewildered. How did this ever happen to me, kind of thing. But they really deserve it, and it's lovely to be able to support people. I mean, as a company, we're not the kind of company that does lots of corporate lunches and that kind of stuff. But what we do is each time there's an award ceremony or a finalist in an award, we take groups of staff, and we always have at least 10 or 20 going to different awards, and we get as many people involved in that throughout the year as we can, to give everybody a chance to go to a nice dress-up event and to celebrate what they've achieved and to celebrate what Burton Shaw has achieved. And this year there's been quite a few people who've become finalists in their own right in, as I say, the British Care Awards and the Learning Disability and Autism Awards. And the one that stands out for me is Vicky Hilton, who not only was a finalist, she won a national award. And Vicky's only been in her current post a relatively short period of time, and she's been with the company a couple of years, but she was promoted fairly recently, and she won an award for the 3 R's, I think they called it. But it's basically, that award is about supporting other people and helping other people to develop. And Vicky won a national award for that. So it's when people in the team win those kind of awards, it's great for them, and they get a bonus, by the way. They get £1,000 bonus when they win an award like that. But that's not what it's about. It's about the overall sense of feel good that creates for other people, and the aspirations that then other people can have as a result of that, because they want to do well. They want to be recognised for their work as well, and it actually, in a sense, almost helps people rise each other up. You know, there's some companies that are all about knocking people down. This is about how we rise each other, or raise each other up. What's grammatically correct there? I don't know. Rise or raise, whichever. But you know, make people feel better for what they're doing, and aspire to be able to achieve more, and aspire to potentially go forward for one of these national awards. So I think that for those to happen, we get so many of them. You know, at some it's a little bit embarrassing at times. There's so many, but for the staff, that is one of the highlights of their year, getting to go to an award ceremony and getting to dress up in a big glam event. Quite often they're in London, you know, and a lot of our staff don't get to go to London as a matter of course, but to go, it feels like a big event for them. But it just promotes the team bonding. It promotes what Burnshaw does. It promotes the success that they've had individually and as teams. And then if somebody wins a national award, it's something to celebrate. And yeah, we definitely celebrate it.